Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to talk about how does Alexa understand your questions. So before going ahead, let me first introduce myself. My name is Shil Saket. I'm a data science enthusiast working in the field of conversational AI, most commonly known as natural language processing. So I actually created a video on what natural language processing is, but if I were to summarize what NLP is in one line, I would say it's all about making computers read, write, and speak in the natural language of humans, which in our case is English. So, yeah, before going ahead, I would like to first bring it to your notice that I do not work for Amazon and I do not claim to have any inside information about how Alexa works. Whatever I'm going to share is based on what I believe is the most optimal way for Alexa to respond, and I actually have created my own speech bot based on that logic. So I think it works, and before like going ahead, you can see how it works, and then we are going to see how we are able to implement it. Give me the weather information of San Francisco. Yeah, so this is how my speech bot was able to understand my question. So let's first ask Alexa how she would respond. What's the temperature in Chicago today?
Right now, in Chicago, Illinois, it's 13 degrees Celsius. Today, expect a high of 23 degrees. So
Let's see what happens actually in the backend. So whatever you say is first converted into text. So there is actually a predictive model which takes in your speech and converts it into a text information. Text information is really important because it's first of all easy to store, and it's also good for analysis. You can do a lot of analysis on it. So that's what is, I guess, the first step. And for the predictive model, you can actually train your own model, and you can actually use other existing APIs which will do this work for you. There is a Google API that can convert speech to text really quickly, and I think you have to pay for it, but there are like quick solutions to it. But and you can also create your own, develop your own, train your own predictive model. All right. So now you have the question in a text form. So, but before going ahead, let us first pause over here and think about how we as a human would process this information, this query. What if I were to ask you this question? How will you respond back to me? Right? So what we generally do as human, basically what AI is doing is mimicking how our human brain works, right? So whenever we get this kind of a question, we look for three different components: what, where, and when. In this particular question, in this particular type of question, right? What is the question all about? It's about temperature. Where is basically temperature of what place? We would need that information to respond, right? And then when is basically when do you want to know the temperature of Chicago? In this case, we have mentioned today, right? And it's so important that even if we don't send particular parts of this query, our brain is very smart to assume these components by default, right? For example, if I just ask you what's the temperature and then pause, you will respond back to me by giving the temperature information of the current location that we are in, and actually at the current time, right? If I say what's the temperature, you will say it's 50 degrees, which is the current temperature right now, right? So that's how our brain works, and that is how we are going to mimic. So basically, whenever we are going to so the question which comes in is what's the temperature in Chicago today, is basically handled by two different branches of analytics, or natural language processing analysis. One is identifying the class, and the other one is extracting information. Class will take care of the what, and information extraction will take care of where and when, right? And that's how we are able to collect all the information together and basically and they are predictive models. So once we run these, we will be able to very easily predict all these information together. And because it's a predictive model, it will be able to handle different types of queries. Like if here we have asked what's the temperature in Chicago today, what if we change it to what will be the temperature weather in New York on June 12th? So the classification model will predict it as a weather query. Information extraction will extract location as New York and time as June 12th, 2020, which is there. And what if we ask a completely different question, like, do I need an umbrella? So these classification model and information extraction models will be able to still extract the information and respond back to you. So once we have identified the class and information, we then send it over to an API. In this case, it would be a weather API, or if we do have a database which captures the temperature information of different places at different times, we use this query to get the result. And that's how basically the whole process is. You know, and that is how we get a response from Alexa or any other virtual assistant if you're using it. So again, like summarizing everything, a person speaks something in natural language. The natural language is converted to text, and that text goes inside a classification and information extraction model, which extracts the what, where, and when information, sends it over to a weather API, and the weather API responds back with the exact information that was asked by the user. And that is how the whole game is played at the back end. It's so cool, it's so interesting, and to know actually what happens at the back end is really, really cool and inspiring. So basically, once I created the whole structure, I tried to create my own speech bot, and I trained it in the back end, and I'm actually going to show it to you guys how how it responds. If you like it, and if you want me to share how I was able to code it, do share your comments and let me know, and I will be creating a new video on how I actually train my speech bot. So okay, go ahead and see how it works. How are you? Give me the weather information of San Francisco. What's the weather in Chicago? I love you. Bye. Bye. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out. If you like my video, do give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, or leave a comment. And until next time, peace out.